Gods and goddesses in training, welcome back to the channel. It is Uncle Makara, all relation. Let's get started with today's video. I'm talking all about healing. What is the main thing holding back many people from healing? And why is it that the strangest activities that you do when you're healing tend to end up working? And the generic advice of like, drink more water, or just journal more, just think positive. This stuff does not work. And in fact, something strange like grounding yourself in the grass or growling like an animal can work because it's putting you back in touch with your primal nature. But not only that, if you're starting to understand, strange activities bypass the mind. And if it's bypassing the mind, it's going into the body, which is your subconscious mind. And that's how it shows up. You see? So we're getting out of the head and into our experience again through, let's say, bioenergetic shaking, something incredible for people to do to get rid of afternoon crashes. A lot of benefits there. Okay. But a lot of people are living sedentary lives, guys, and they're not able to fully activate their hidden healing powers. And this is what I'm going to help you with, okay? Oftentimes, people will feel disconnected from their body and they'll make healing into a chore, right? Healing is not a chore, it is a sense of wholeness, this experience of getting closer to source would be closer to healing. Okay. But a lot of people, they bypass that. They bypass spirit. They bypass God in order to heal. That's a false healing, my friends. It's probably soothing the surface, but is it soothing your soul? And the word psychology means the soul. Okay. It's the medicine of the soul. So why is it that we're just thinking of this like a one quick fix thing? Weird works because you don't heal by just being polite. You're meant to growl your way back into wholeness. Okay. Welcome to the jungle, Jumanji, Jumanji. Okay. So strange healing methods feel ancient and ceremonial. They shock the ego into submission. So the ego doesn't know what to do with strange rituals like this, right? Imagine someone just doing dynamic meditation, right? Osho's dynamic meditation, and they've never done it before. Like the ego is going to stop micromanaging that moment, right? And just allowing whatever has to release. And you're speaking the language of the subconscious, the rhythm, the sensation, the instinct is becoming alive again instead of like bland advice. Have you ever just gotten bland advice and judgmental advice, right? Like you talk to one of your friends and they're like, really? You did that? You're still dealing with that? Like this judgmental comment will put you in the same situation that you're stuck in. And you're trying to get out by venting to them and trying to get some solution. This is why you got to speak to people who get it. You got to allow yourself to express to somebody who on the other side of you has gone through something similar. Otherwise, we're just spouting words. There's words, but no embodiment. And this is a lot of practitioners that I'm seeing in this healing industry, right? It's a bunch of fancy words and yes, the compassion is there, but where's the real visceral feeling of it? Where's the actual care instead of the manufactured care? Are you guys resonating with this? So, one thing I would definitely say is to gamify your healing, okay? Make it more playful for you, especially if you're a guy, right? As a guy, you grew up watching superheroes, playing video games, okay? So you got to turn your healing into a level up arc, right? Today, I slay the demon of avoidance. Tomorrow, I loot the treasure of my self-trust. Make your rituals feel like side quests, right? Not like chores. I hate that word, man. A chore always feels like a chore. Instead, I'm here to give my inner child a sword and make integration feel like Jumanji, Jumanji. Next thing is performance. I love theater. I love performance because it is a tool for my healing and is a tool that I give to others to heal themselves. Okay. I'm not just saying this to promote my book, right? The Plasticity Method. I'm genuinely saying this because psychodrama seems to work, right? What do they do in psychodrama? Like there'll be a group of people, right? They'll be like, I had a very bad relationship with my father. Now choose someone out of the group who can be your father in this moment. And how would you have liked him to act in that moment? And then maybe they're hugging this random stranger in the psychodrama group, But what they're really experiencing is that visceral trauma release from the body, that care that they would have needed back then, coming through the now. And in that, there is a reconnecting to wholeness, to source, to care, that deep generative principle of the Hermetic principles that is hidden, but also that deep unconditional love that we don't get from anywhere else but the divine. By looking at ourselves and reconnecting with the divinity within us, that we remember we are gods and goddesses in training again. But sure, I'm saying it, but perform it. What I mean by perform it is dance out your rage, right? Dance, if you're feeling shameful, freestyle rap, shadow puppet theater, anyone? So own your story like it's Shakespeare meets samurai cinema. And then, of course, treat every trigger as a training. Turn every wound into a womb, a portal. If you like crying, that's your soul's water bending. Anger, there's just a dragon in my diaphragm, you mean? Pain is my raw material. I melt it down and I mold my new self with it. Next thing is you got to mystify it. Mystify your healing. You build shrines. You name your inner archetypes. You invoke deities. You make your room smell like sandalwood and revolution. Your healing is a ritual. It's not a recovery program. It's not a 12-step plan. Just make it sacred and weird enough to bypass your boredom. Because trust me, on the healing path, you're going to have to sit with your boredom a lot. Okay. But it's not exactly boredom because boredom is close enough to relaxation. But one is it's boredom because it's entering your mental world. But through the presence, you're not going to feel so bored. You're going to feel just relaxed. So some of the best healing is messy, is uncontrollable, is wild expression, right? Take any kind of bioenergetics exercise. What are they doing? They're punching a pillow and crying into it, right? They're growling. They're giving themselves an outlet for their emotions. And not a lot of us have that. We don't have an outlet for our emotions, right? So give yourself an outlet and name your transformation. You're not healing from abandonment. You are a queen who no longer waits to be chosen. You're not regulating your nervous system. You're training the beast inside to purr in paradise. So you get what I'm doing here, guys? I'm making it poetic. I'm making it primal. I'm making it mine. I own my healing journey. And so do you. This isn't self-care, it's self-sorcery. So if you want to feel God, you got to bleed art from your wounds, man. You got to let that energy move. Because the moment you let it sit and stagnate and you kind of, you feel this resentment, it's just going to create these entanglements internally, these knots of resistance. And don't you want to feel expansive? Why do you want to feel like that? You see, you're doing that to yourself. You're not forgiving yourself and others. You're not allowing yourself to just take down that mask or ego and you keep on performing and trying to be cool. But what if you could just sit with yourself and really start to understand my healing is my healing, exactly that. And it's not going to look like anybody else's. And I'm not here to create comparison traps with this person's healing journey and that other person's healing journey. I know that my healing journey is mine to claim. It's weird. It may seem irresponsible to others. It might seem impractical to others, but I know what is truly going to help me connect to source. Nobody else can tell that to me. And so I'm going to trust my inner world. I'm going to sit in my silence. I'm going to begin this process of truly getting back into integrating, get integrating. That's the whole point of healing, is to come into a wholeness again, not feel so fragmented, not feel so separate or isolated, right? You feel this interconnectedness. Okay. For the best Primal Sutra students, healing doesn't look like, you sitting on a yoga mat, sipping chamomile tea. It looks more like a hunt. You track your patterns like prey. You stalk your triggers, right? You pounce when the shadow flinches. If it's in hiding, I'm finding. If it's roaring, I'm riding. I'm not trying to manage my symptoms. I'm re-scripting my reality through myths, through narrative, through movement, right? Giving a structure to the chaos. My inner world right now, as I'm healing, feels like chaos. I'm bringing a containment to that chaos. I'm now shadow boxing with my own BS. I'm not here to coddle my trauma. I just want to give my trauma some stage time so it can actually express itself. I've been telling it to shut up over all of these years, but you got to let it express itself so that it can finally walk away feeling like a champ. Many people think flow state is just like this pretty state of mind. To me, flow state is a weapon. It's chi cultivation. It's working with the resistance, not against it. It's every habit becomes a summoning. So what is real healing? Rewriting the God within. Don't ask for help, you become it. It's like metaphysical bodybuilding, right? Ancestral redemption, aura maxing. I don't heal to become whole. I heal because I'm too legendary to stay broke. This is not therapy. This is not light work or shadow work. This is elite soul recalibration for the spiritual wounded warriors. This is Primal Sutra. And I hope you're tapping in today. If you look behind me, it is raining. It's a stormy day, but I still remain at the center of the storm, understanding that I have my capacity to heal, which transcends the space-time continuum. Now, I'm not here to play by these rules of what healing should look like and, how I'm going to expand into my greatest self. Right? You can get clues from others, and mentors will give you little nudges. You gotta figure it out internally, man. A lot of self-help is just other help. Am I right? Or am I right? A lot of self-help is other help. You're listening to other people tell you how to lead yourself. How in the world is that self-help? Real, authentic self-help is through your own inner coherence, your own inner understanding of heart and mind. It's not this frazzled, scattered, chaotic state of mind. It's a connectedness, it's a centeredness that you can move with. And once you can move with it and you learn how to ride the dragon, ride the ego, it will start to slowly submit because you've trained it. Because now you understand your shadow better. You have a conversation with it. You know how to visualize a proper rendition of your trauma that heals you and guides you towards that wholeness. So this is why alternative therapies or weird types of things oftentimes work, right? Because strange things bypass the mind, and the mind is the fucking problem you have. Because the mind is the throne thief, right? It stores the past, but healing happens in the now. It obsesses over control, but growth is chaos friendly. It fears what it can't predict, but magic lives on the unpredictable. You see how much of a you've been duped, you've been trapped by the mind, because the mind narrates your suffering more than your soul. It loops the same fear stories, calling it realistic and logical. It asks for guarantees before you step into your blessings. So I'm telling you, gotta let the body, the breath, and the soul become your compass, your bridge. And it speaks in symbols, it speaks in rhythm, it speaks in resonance. The enemy isn't the mind. It's the mind in rebellion to the source. That's the real problem. The separation, feeling distinctly in your own poisoned world, and then everything around you is fine. That's not what's happening, my friends. You got to tame this thing, you got to train this thing, and then you got to transcend it. Then make it write poetry for your spirit. This is Mastery. We are Primal Sutra. I am Uncle Makara. Tap in. I hope you have an incredible rest of your day today. Namaskar, Namaste. Upward Spiral Gang, may we never be the same again. Thank you so much for tapping in. I hope you have an incredible rest of your day. Let's dominate. Let's win. Boom.